Welcome to the Real Life Weight Loss Podcast, where we cut through the confusion and get down to the truth about what really works for real people when it comes to losing weight, having incredible health, and a body that you love. We believe that losing weight is really about gaining life, doing things you never thought you could, having renewed confidence, and enjoying your body more than ever. I'm your host, Corey Little. Now let's get to it. Hello, friends. Welcome back. This is episode number 269. And today I'm going to explain to you how you can eat anything you want and still lose weight and still reach your weight loss goals. It's amazing. It's a secret. It's a trick that no one knows about, but I'm going to tell you on this call. All of that sounds like something that belonged in the last episode, right? Where I explained how people are just looking for clicks. And so they put up all of these, really snazzy titles and headlines, and then we can't help it. We just click on it because we want to see what they say. So it's not entirely true that I'm going to explain how to eat whatever you want and still lose weight. If you believe that's possible, then, well, maybe we need to have a discussion over on the side. But I will explain to you how to truly enjoy the holidays, how to truly enjoy whatever holiday. I know we have quite a few international listeners, and there are different holidays in different countries, but here's what I know. It's human nature. Anytime we celebrate, and oftentimes when we grieve, we have food. A lot of our life centers around food, and it's delicious food, and it's often higher calorie food. It's decadent, indulgent food. And so we have to know the best ways to navigate those situations. And sadly, for many people, the tendency is to say, "Oh, I shouldn't eat this stuff. Oh, we automatically believe, wait, I need to lose weight. I should be losing weight." And then during the holidays or during celebrations, the bully in our brain gets so loud to tell us how we shouldn't be eating these things, and we start to feel guilty, and then we don't really enjoy the food, and it's really, really a sad thing. And so as I was plotting and planning, looking at the calendar, I thought, okay, wow, in the United States, Thanksgiving is coming up, and it's just like this huge food fest. And I thought, I've got to do an episode about this. And so I knew I'd done episodes before, and I thought, I'll look back at those and create something new or different. And I thought, wow, that was really, I don't want to change anything. So today's episode was actually originally published in 2020. And if you've listened to all the episodes of the podcast, you might have heard it before, but it needs to be heard again. So this episode is from 2020. If you hear me refer to COVID or other things that may not seem applicable, that's why. But I just couldn't, as I read back through my notes and I listened to that audio again, I thought, there's nothing I really want to add. And so without further ado, we'll run that audio, and I hope that you will listen intently. I hope you'll take it to heart, and I hope from the bottom of my heart that you will enjoy the upcoming holidays and all of the food associated with it more than you ever have, while also not feeling like you've let yourself down and not feeling like you're totally screwing up your weight loss goals. That is my goal for you. That is my hope for you with this episode. Okay? Okay, now let's run that audio. Today, we are going to talk about the elephant in the room. We're going to take the bull by the horns. And any other corny way I can think of to say it. We're going to talk about the 4 things that can totally screw up your Thanksgiving. 4 things that most people do wrong with Thanksgiving. Really just like 4 terrible approaches when it comes to Thanksgiving or any holiday or event that is centered around food. So for my international listeners, hello. Thank you for listening. I love you. You're amazing. In the United States, this week is a big holiday called Thanksgiving. You might have heard of it. And of all the different holidays, it's probably the one that is the most centered around eating food. All kinds of food, indulgent food. The concept is that we're giving thanks for all the blessings in our life. It has a historical context, but it's mainly just family and friends. Normally, if COVID's not happening, family and friends getting together to eat a bunch of food. So it doesn't matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter who you are. Today's message applies because everyone has events and celebrations that are centered around food. And if you're trying to lose weight, it can seem really tough, right? So the question is, how do we navigate that? What do we do? And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. Normally, right around here, I would be reading reviews of the podcast and telling everyone thanks so much for posting reviews. I'm not going to do that today. I want to jump right in to the episode, but I do want to say to all of you who are posting reviews, thank you so much. They mean so much to me. And if you haven't posted a review, oh man, I would absolutely love it if you would do that. Okay, now let's jump in. So this episode was partially inspired because Tammy, who you guys heard from in episode number 77. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, go back and listen to it. It's called How to Lose Weight Eating Carbs. And you can hear Tammy's story in that episode. She's a member of my Inner Circle coaching group, and she talked about how she went from doing keto, which is 0 carbohydrates. So she was doing keto and intermittent fasting. So she was starving herself and not eating any carbohydrates at all. And she went from doing that and was not losing any weight to slowly and gradually transitioning into what I teach in my Inner Circle coaching group. And she's like, this is amazing. I've actually lost like 10 pounds and I'm eating breakfast and I'm eating carbs and I can't believe it. So go listen to Tammy's episode sometime, episode number 77, How to Lose Weight Eating Carbs. But Tammy just, I think maybe today or yesterday, she posted in the Inner Circle coaching group. She said, I am so looking forward to Thanksgiving this week. And for the first time ever, I'm not stressed about the extra food. I plan to enjoy. Oh, that's so encouraging, right? And my thought is this is amazing. For the first time in Tammy's life, she's not stressing about the food at Thanksgiving, and she's going to truly enjoy the food. And I want more people to have that experience because life's too short to stress about the food on holidays and to not enjoy. So that's what we're going to talk about. And here's the truth, my friends. Turn up the volume, grab your pen, listen, pay attention. What you eat on Thanksgiving or at any holiday is never what truly throws you off when it comes to weight loss. It's what happens in your mind and in your brain around that. Let me say it again. What you eat on Thanksgiving or any holiday is never what throws you off in relation to your weight loss goals. It's not what you eat. It's what happens in your brain and in your mind and the self-talk that occurs around that food and around that holiday. That's what truly throws you off. Think about it. There are 12 major holidays in the United States, and about 6 of them tend to be centered around food. Now, let's just add 6 more special occasions, birthdays, weddings, parties, etc. Okay, so now let's not stop there at 12. We're back up to 12. Let's just add 4 more days to give ourselves some cushion, like 4 more other events or things that might happen. So we have 16 events each year that center around food and enjoying decadent, indulgent food and celebrating with family and friends. Now, hang with me here. Let's do a little math. So there are 365 days each year. 16 days out of 365 is only 4% of each year. Just 4%. So if all 16 of those events or days or holidays or whatever, if you went totally bonkers and ate as much as you wanted, but, and here's the major but, if the other 96% of the year you were taking intentional steps toward the goals that you have for yourself when it comes to losing weight, do you think there's any way that those 16 days, that measly 4% of the year could derail you? In case you don't know, let me give you the answer. No way. No, there's no way that 4% of the year, that's 16 days out of 365, even if you ate food until you were sick, there's no way that those days can derail your weight loss efforts if the other 96% of the days you're taking intentional steps. See, the problem is the other 96%. The problem is that people don't pay attention and don't take intentional steps on that other 96% of the year. And then on holidays, such as Thanksgiving, here it goes. The bully in your brain comes out full force. And this can cause 4 big issues that will totally screw up your weight loss efforts and, maybe more importantly, will totally steal your enjoyment of the holiday. So, here are 4 things that most people will do or thoughts they'll have or approaches they'll take that will totally screw up Thanksgiving and screw up your weight loss efforts. It's 4 things that most people do that my clients won't do. So I'm sharing it with you. And in my Inner Circle coaching group, we will do a kind of a coaching call this week, and we'll dig into this a little bit more, and we'll get into a little more in depth with it. But I want to give you guys this stuff so you can go into your Thanksgiving and enjoy. So you ready? Here we go. Number 1, a lot of people will starve themselves before Thanksgiving and or starve themselves after. It's halfway, kind of like a feeble attempt to make up for what you're going to eat or what you ate. And it's also halfway kind of punishment for what you ate. Neither of these are good. Neither of these approaches work. Neither of these approaches are healthy mentally. Whether you're trying to, I'm going to starve, I'm going to eat less and less and less Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that on Thanksgiving, on Thursday, I feel entitled and I have a right to eat whatever I want. Or the flip side of that, I'm going to enjoy myself on Thursday, but then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to work out twice per day and eat nothing but salads and drink apple cider vinegar. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Neither of those work. Okay? Let me just pull back the curtain. They don't work. Don't rely on that. Not only does it not work, it sets you up for a kind of mental sabotage. So don't starve yourself before or starve yourself after any special holiday or event. Next up, number 2. Oh my goodness, this is one of people's favorite things. They'll throw the whole week out the window and say, I'll just get back on the wagon. I'll start again fresh come next week. You might have already done that. This, my friends, reeks of the dreaded perfectionist, all or nothing, on-off mentality. It's basically like, this week is just going to be so hard. It's just going to be a mess, so I'll start back over next week. Which also means you're stopping this week. Look, there is a middle ground. Please hear me. There is a middle ground, and that middle ground is where you get results and where you don't fall off the wagon and realize, hey, there really is no wagon. There's just life, and you're still able to eat all your favorite foods, and you don't beat yourself up, and you don't fall into that faulty, broken, all-or-nothing, on-off mindset. That's the middle ground. That's what I teach my clients. That's where they live. They don't just throw the whole week out the window. They manage and move throughout the week, and then they enjoy the crap out of the holiday, and then they keep managing the rest of the week. There's not an on or off. It's not all or nothing. Don't throw the whole week out the window. Okay, next up, number 3. A lot of people will feel so guilty about what they're eating, and then they'll say stuff like this. And usually they'll say stuff like this when they're eating. I shouldn't be eating this. Well, I guess I just have to run an extra mile or do 30 more minutes on the elliptical or whatever. I need to go to an extra boot camp class. Pick your form of exercise. Or this is one of my favorites, and maybe because of what I do, I hear it often around the holidays. As people are standing there or sitting there with a plate full of food or maybe a huge slice of cake or pie, they'll say, geez, goodness, I shouldn't be eating this. I'll just have to start my diet next week. Look, hello, listen, pay attention. You feel guilty and you say these things because you feel like you shouldn't. You shouldn't be eating them. I mean, the first quote I gave you, I shouldn't be eating this. If your brain is telling you, if you're telling yourself, I shouldn't be eating this, then you automatically feel guilty. And if you really start paying attention, you'll notice that guilt and all the shoulds and shouldn'ts are the source of so much discontentment and unhappiness in your life. When your mind is constantly filled with a ton of shoulds, and I shouldn't be doing this, or I shouldn't be eating that, and I should be exercising, and should and shouldn't, and da-da-da. Suddenly, when your brain is filled with all of that, you're not able to be happy and enjoy the present, the moment, and where you are right now in your life and in the process of going after your goals. So, what if you change the thought around Thanksgiving from, I shouldn't, which just leads to guilt, shame, lack of enjoyment, unhappiness, and a bunch of other negative emotions. What if we change that to something different? And by the way, doesn't that sound great? The I shouldn't approach leads to guilt, shame, lack of enjoyment, unhappiness, and a bunch of other negative emotions. It's like, oh yes, sign me up for that. Yeah, that's the way I want to spend my Thanksgiving. Oh, it's terrible. So what if we changed it to a totally new mindset? Instead of I shouldn't, we change to a mindset of celebration. The opposite of celebration, the opposite of celebrating, and the opposite of celebration is grieving, mourning, ignoring, disobeying. And isn't this how we feel when we eat all of that delicious, decadent holiday food with that guilty, I shouldn't be doing this mentality? It's like we're grieving our lack of discipline. We're mourning the fact that we don't have the body that we want, as if not eating Thanksgiving would really change that. And we're ignoring the fact that this is the appropriate time to eat and celebrate and enjoy and indulge in delicious, wonderful food. Yet we feel like we're disobeying something. It's like we feel wrong and terrible and guilty and like we're disobedient to something, to ourselves, to our goals. And we're dishonoring ourselves and what deep down inside we really, really want. My friends, this is the ultimate trick by the enemy. This is the ultimate trick by the bully in your brain to make you miserable. Here's what happens. Here's what the bully in your brain does. He or she distracts you from all the time you could be much more easily paying attention to your nutrition, just day-to-day basic life when there is no holiday. The bully distracts you from that, and then at the very moment when you should celebrate food and enjoyment of food, the bully jumps up and screams about how you shouldn't. It's such a bunch of crap. Hopefully you can see the irony here. Like the day-to-day life when you could easily be taking steps toward the body you want, the weight loss you want, the goals that you have for yourself. The bully will convince you to ignore it and just to move along, and you're too busy and this and that, and give you every reason and every excuse to eat everything you normally want. But then on the day that you should eat anything you want, on the holidays and the events and the special occasions, the bully jumps in to explain to you how you're such a loser and you're so terrible and you're not disciplined and you're fat and eating this food just makes you fatter and you should be ashamed. Guys, that's terrible. You have to stand up to the bully. You have to hear that. You have to be aware of it. Okay, move along, Corey. Here we go. Next up, number 4, the fourth thing that people do. That's a terrible approach to Thanksgiving, is they eat mindlessly. They eat without paying attention, and this causes 2 big issues. Number 1, you don't enjoy your food when you're actually eating it, and number 2, you eat more because you didn't enjoy what you just ate and because you're not conscious of what you just ate. So I think I'll have some more because I'm not satisfied. And here's the thing. If we address the item of not enjoying our food, then the second one, eating more, will take care of itself. So here's how eating mindlessly happens. Because you may be cognizant of it, you may realize you do it, but you may not. Here's how it happens and how it screws up your enjoyment of food, and then here I'm going to also tell you what to do about it. It can manifest in a bunch of different ways, but it usually looks something like this. You're eating while carrying on a conversation, and you're totally focused on the person you're talking to and not focused on your food. Or you're eating just without thinking. Let me be clear. You're eating without thinking about your food. Maybe you're thinking about something else. You're thinking about that comment that Aunt Martha made earlier, or you're thinking about how you have to clean the house later today, or grocery shopping tomorrow, or taking your kids to soccer practice, or whatever, but you're eating without thinking about your food. You're eating maybe without consciously enjoying your food. Maybe you see it, you smell it, and you think, oh, that looks great. And then you put it in your mouth and start chewing it, and you're not paying any attention to the food that's in your mouth. And then lastly, and we've already touched on this one, you're eating with guilt. You're eating and have this tremendous sense of guilt and I shouldn't be eating this, I shouldn't be enjoying this, is constantly swirling in your brain. And my friends, when you're eating wonderful, delicious food, with guilt swirling in your brain, it's like salt. It's like over-salting your food. You can take the best plate of food, and if you put too much salt on it, it's ruined. You will not enjoy it. It doesn't matter how wonderful your food is. If you eat it with a sense of guilt, your food will not be enjoyed. And I've said it before on the podcast, and I'll say it again. There's nothing worse than a stomach full of food and calories that you did not enjoy. And you can screw up your enjoyment with guilt, or simply by eating without intentionally thinking about and enjoying what you're eating. So here's what I would suggest. Begin to think of and treat eating like a doctor that's doing open heart surgery. That may sound extreme, but I want to drive the point home here. If a doctor were doing open heart surgery, they wouldn't be casually talking to other people and thinking about a million different things. They are zoned in and focused on that beating heart in front of them. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're thinking about. You, my friend, if you want to really enjoy your food, if you want to eat less overall, not because you forced yourself to eat less, but because you're full and you're satisfied, actively, consciously, intentionally think about your food and enjoy it on purpose. Okay, let's pull it all together here. So the big take home that I just really, really don't want you to miss, it's not what you eat on Thanksgiving or any holiday that screws you up, okay? It's not what you eat that throws off your weight loss goals. It's what happens in your mind and what you tell yourself while you're eating and after you're finished. And there are 4 big ways this can manifest and 4 terrible approaches to Thanksgiving or any holiday or special occasion. Number 1, you should not starve yourself before or starve yourself afterwards. It's not healthy mentally or physically. Don't do it. Number 2, don't throw the whole week out the window and fall victim to the on-off, all-or-nothing mentality. That just more deeply ingrains the diet mentality. Oh, I have to be on a diet. Oh, I fell off the wagon. No, it's terrible. That will never lead you to long-term results. Number 3, holidays are not the time to feel guilty about what you're eating. This just makes everything worse, and it keeps you from enjoying the holiday and the food and the family. It's not the time to feel guilty. It's the time to celebrate. And lastly, number 4, whatever you do, please don't eat mindlessly. It leads to you not enjoying your food and just eating more and more and more. So slow down. Consciously, purposefully enjoy your food. Enjoy the pie. Enjoy the turkey. Enjoy the dressing. Enjoy whatever it is that you love. Okay, now I have a special request. And no, it's not for you to post a review. I would love for you to post a review. I still have that goal. But I have a different special request for you in regards to this episode. I want as many people as possible to hear this message, and maybe for the first time, like Tammy talked about, to truly enjoy their Thanksgiving and not stress about food, to enjoy Thanksgiving or whatever holiday with zero guilt. So here's what I'm asking you to do right now. Don't wait because you'll forget and you won't do it, and the holiday will be here and gone. Right now, spread the word about this episode. The best way to do that is with social media. Take a screenshot of this episode, post it, tag me in it, maybe tag a few friends, recommend that people check it out, or you can post the link to this episode if you're kind of technologically savvy, copy and paste the link into a social media post and encourage some friends to listen. Or the next best option is to send this episode via a text message or email to anyone that you know that might need to hear it. Together, my friends, we will whoop the bully in our brain and we will truly enjoy what is meant to be a celebration. We'll enjoy it without guilt, on purpose. Now, let's wrap it up. Always remember, there is more to you than what you weigh. The scales, man, they never tell the whole story, and they rarely tell the truth. You are beautiful and amazing and incredible, and you are so much more than a number on a little machine that sits in your bathroom. And losing weight is amazing. It'll make you feel better and give you more energy, But losing weight is really all about gaining life and living the life that you've always wanted to, and enjoying food, maybe for the first time, and celebrating it and not stressing over it. I know you can do it. I believe in you 100%. And I want you to believe in yourself too. And if you don't, keep listening, and I'll keep working on it, and we'll get you there. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. If you do, when you do, send me a message. Let me know about it. It would be a blessing to me. Take care. Much love. God bless. Bye-bye.